Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chillin and Millin. This is the Magic-based podcast hosted by three people who, despite the fact this is the year of Commander, are kind of surprised that we've all been stuck away from each other, not being able to play the, multiplayer format that this is supposed to be the year of.
The best format.
I miss you guys in spaces.
I miss everyone.
Yeah, me too.
Isn't it slightly ironic? Like, genuinely, like the Wizards were like, "This is the year of Commander. We're doing all these like amazing, cool Commander products," and it's like, "Oh wow, this is amazing." And then the world went into a global pandemic, and so we've had an entire year of products for Magic's number one multiplayer format. I'm saying multiplayer. Every Magic format is multiplayer. Like it's very hard to play Magic against yourself. But like, yeah,
I don't know.
The most multiplayer.
Yeah, the top Magic format, which is designed to be played with at least 4 people for the most part. This is supposed to be the year of it. Here's all these wonderful products, these new Commander decks, new Brawl decks. Here's an entire draft set for you guys. And global pandemic lockdown, no one sees each other. I hope you enjoy Arena.
Do you not remember that they introduced command fests at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year?
Yeah.
There was meant to be a set of GPs, Commander GP-esque things. It's like, yeah, that sounds amazing. It's like, you get one.
Yeah. It's like Pioneer. Do you remember when Pioneer was like, this is going to be the year where Pioneer really makes its statement? Yeah. Like we've created Pioneer the end of 2019. Let's go through it. Yeah, come on, let's go, guys. We're gonna have loads and loads of Magic Fest and GPs that are dedicated to Pioneer. And
well, it's interesting you mentioned Pioneer. Actually, I was in the bath the other day. And
of course you were.
So yeah, I was in the bath the other day and I was thinking about Modern because I've been listening to a bunch of Modern podcasts and I was trying to get excited about playing Magic again because I've been a bit it's just so hard to get excited about Modern in these times. But and I was thinking about it, and then the guy in the podcast, it was the Masters of Modern podcast actually, they mentioned Pioneer and I was like, oh yeah,
that exists.
Pioneer exists. I had genuinely forgotten all about it. It's like, I should check the metagame. So I went on MTG Goldfish and checked the metagame, and I immediately said, do you know what? That's enough Pioneer for now.
This is the thing. I'm not even this is brilliant, right? We should probably introduce ourselves, by the way, just so that everyone knows who we are. I'm Hugh. I'm the podcast host. I'm the guy that speaks at the beginning and has to spend 5 minutes before this podcast starts trying to figure out an opening because there's been literally no Magic this year in terms of playing it with people. So I've got so little to make jokes about.
The memes are gone.
Oh yeah, I don't know what to do. The memes are drying up. Behold the field where I grow my memes. As you can see, it is barren.
Hi there. I'm Grace. I'm the podcast Sell One Judge, and I'm mainly interested in kind of the constructed formats, though less so.
Yeah, I was going to say the ones that are left.
Yeah, I used to be excited for Pioneer, and it just looks like a boring dumpster fire at the moment, and I just don't care.
I'm still slightly excited for Pioneer, not because I want to play it, but because I occasionally get to look at it and
laugh.
You know what's actually killed my interest in Pioneer?
Is it Inverter?
Sam, you go first, then I'll explain what killed my interest in Pioneer.
Oh yeah, I'm Sam.
Took you a while, Cayman boy.
Jesus. You need to sort that thing out.
Okay, Sam, you may be in the Cayman Islands right now, but that does not excuse a 5-second ping.
You should try playing Among Us with him. It's a nightmare.
Oh, don't.
I'm Sam. I'm mainly interested in the janky stuff. So Commander, Draft, I guess, Minotaurs, L5 Minotaur Judge. Let's go. Yeah, that's it.
You just walk over someone's shoulder at a GP, point at a Tamagotchi. not a Minotaur. Thank you, L5 Minotaur Judge. Once again you have saved the day.
That's Tamagotchi. It's not a Minotaur. That's a warning. Don't let me catch you doing it again.
LSV just turns around. Who are you?
Who are you? How did you get into the top 8 area?
The interesting calls are the demons with horns. You've got to really study those ones. You've got to watch out for them.
No. The tip is, if they have wings, like 40% chance, like 80% chance it's not a Minotaur.
Like 40% chance it's not a Minotaur. 60% chance that it is a Minotaur. Those well-known Minotaurs with wings.
Look, the machine learning algorithm's not that good, okay?
I think we're going to get Minotaurs in Kaldheim. I don't know whether or not Norse mythology has Minotaur.
No, it doesn't.
Probably not. There is this Pyre of Heroes card, which I'm kind of excited for.
Oh yeah, no, that I did see that. I did see that. Cheaper, not as good birthing pod.
It's not cheaper.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the same mana.
It's a 2-drop, isn't it? As opposed to a 4-drop, which was 3-drop and 2 life.
Nobody cares about the
birthing
pod. But the Pyre is 2 mana to activate, whereas the birthing pod is 1 and a Phyrexian. So like if you're playing it and tapping it, it's the same mana.
Eventually, by the end, it's probably cheaper. Grace, what did kill your interest?
Thank you. So okay. Do you know what killed my interest in Pioneer? It was historic. Is the honest answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will give a round of applause in that Grace at one point was a mythic historic player.
Yeah, I managed to get it. Yeah, I actually managed to grind my way up to Mythic. I know that's not actually a massive achievement nowadays, but it felt like a massive achievement for me.
I still think it does.
I think it's huge.
Don't you still get invited to the Mythic Championship if you're in Mythic at the end of the season?
No, you've got to be in the top 1,000.
Oh, is it the top 1,000?
The top 1,000 or the top 100. Like, you don't get it for just being in Mythic. You've got to be... Because, like, when you go into Mythic, you get a percentage next to your name. And that's, like, when you're in the top X... Like, that shows your percentage position in... Like,
right.
So I think I managed to grind that up to 98%. So I was in, like, essentially the 98th percentile. And, I mean, that sounds really impressive, but I started in the 92nd percentile, so I'm not really sure.
You got significantly higher in Arena than I've ever gotten.
Yeah. And then, eventually, when you grind high enough, you get a number next to your name, and that's like you're the top nth player. And I think there's a certain cutoff. I don't know whether if you've got a number next to your name, you get invited to some arena thing, or you have to be in a certain top. Like it's like I'm not getting an invitation to the Mythical Championship.
Shame.
But yeah, like I've been playing like a shit ton of Historic, right? And it turns out I'm planting my flag right here. Historic is genuinely really, really fun. It kind of reminds me of Modern.
I built a Historic deck.
Did you?
Yeah, I just edited shrines. So Shribble. It's awful.
Okay, yeah.
It's awful.
It's awful.
It's awful. It's funny to play.
Yeah.
It is beyond hilarious to 6 shrine someone and then just watch them going, so what do I do here? Beginning of the turn, there's me just going, draw 6 cards, gain 6 life, get 6 mana. What are you going to do with that 6 mana? Probably nothing.
More shrines.
More shrines.
I thought you said war crimes. What are you going to do with that 6 mana? War crimes.
War crimes.
No, that's my deck, because I run Raktos Pyromancer, and I've been informed that I'm a bad person because of it.
Yeah. You napalm the enemy. That's a war crime, right?
But I think I once float seized somebody 6 times.
Oh, you are a bad person. You're a bad person.
I've cast a Croxus 3 times in a turn against somebody.
No, why? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?
But legitimately, I genuinely think Historic is a really, really fun format, and all the interesting cards in Historic are from the Historic anthologies and from Jumpstart.
Hugh leans forward, scratches his head. What's that? Historic, this fun format, has been made fun because Wizards looked at it and went, oh, god damn it, we're going to need to inject cards into this to make it fun. Like, don't get me wrong, we've done it and it is now fun. But at the same time, I don't think we could give Historic props for it being fun because of the stuff they've had to add to it to make it fun.
No.
It's like going, man, this this pizza's really, really good because of the additional pepperoni that I put on it. Oh, what was it originally? Base. It's like,
Okay,
can you really
fair.
compliment the pizza then? Or are you just complimenting the pepperoni?
No, okay, that's very no, because like it melds with it. Like in historic, Thoughtseas is like obviously Thoughtseas makes like the Rektos Pyromancer deck work, but along with Pyromancer, but also mixing that in there with one of my favorite cards, which is Dreadhorde Arcanist and stuff like that. You just get to do all this crazy stuff. I legitimately think I love historic. It is one of my favorite things to play right now. And then every time I look at Pioneer, I just look at it and go, "Oh God, that looks dull. It just looks horrible and just not at all."
I actively forget Pioneer exists until a new thing gets added to Arena, and I get reminded, oh yeah, they're not backtracking to add to Historic, they're backtracking to add for Pioneer eventually. Because we've had Armenket and Kaladesh have just been added to Arena.
Yeah.
And I will say, best thing about those being added to Arena, the cube. That's the best thing. That's the best thing about that stuff being added to Pioneer. Also, Magic community, just go green. Like, I have cubed so much this past week. I've been getting home from work. I've been cubing every night. I've yet to go through a cube having lost more than one game, and I've always just gone green. Because people can't deal with green.
That's just Magic in 2020, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. People legitimately can't, like, they're like, you got this person, like, these counter spells, and I'm just like, brilliant, Carnage Tyrant. And they just can't deal with you. It's like, oh, right, this is a thing that I now have to deal with. Yes, you do. Slam, slam, slam. I turn forward someone, and it was the best feeling. I turn, and it wasn't even with ramp. I'm like, it was turn 1 Pelt Collector. I did nothing turn 2 because I attacked for 1 mana turn 2.
Okay.
For 1 damage. Turn 3. I played the I've forgotten his name. Green God from Armenket. Ronas the Indomitable. Played that.
Oh boy.
A shame, really. Oh my but as you can see, my Pelt Collector is now a 2/2. I mean, it would be a shame if I brought. It would be a shame if I like they did nothing turn 3. It'd be a shame if I had a 4-drop with 4 power or greater and haste. Oh, Questing Beast.
Jesus Christ!
There we go. That's 1 damage plus 2 damage to make 3 damage, and then the next turn it was an additional 3 damage to make 6, plus 5 to make 11, plus 4 to make 15, and then they conceded. They had played 3 lands, and I frankly looked at my hand and went, "Why isn't everyone just playing green?"
So what you're saying is the 1 damage right at the start was OP.
Yes.
Pelt Collector, please nerf.
Pelt Collector, please ban.
Okay. Like that just why don't you just play green is very much like I feel like the tagline of 2020.
Magic 2020. Yeah. Magic 2020. Why aren't you playing green?
Yeah. Like I've been looking a lot of the modern metagame at the moment. Like actually modern is in like a super good place at the moment, apart from like 1 deck, and it's the best deck before that.
Is it the Uro pile?
Yes, it's the 4-color Uro pile, which is just I've had multiple people who describe it to me as just like take every single design mistake from the last 2 years, pop it in a modern deck, and yeah, I think that's the best thing for that.
I heard it referred to as 2019 .deck.
Yeah, because it plays Omnath now.
It plays oh god, of course, yeah, that's why it's 4-color. I suppose.
Also, you can even take it back to design mistakes from before 2019 because it plays Shahili Cat combo.
Yeah, of course it does. Why not? The thing is, I joke and I'm like, "Man, you should play more green." Huh? Then I look at my modern decks, right, and I realize, with the exception of Burn, all my modern decks are green.
You could inject green into Burn though, right? Because old Burn or was really similar to Burn was Zoo, and you ran Wild Nacatl.
Yes, I'm not going to do that because I'm not degenerate. And I like my Boros Burn. I like Boros Burn too much. But my Jund, green, and my green white hate bears, green. And this is the thing, like, Green's a good color. I think legitimately, despite the fact that Magic is supposed to be this thing that's supposed to be really nice and balanced and stuff, legitimately, green is the most powerful color, and I'd say white is the least powerful color at the moment. I just think that's a thing that exists at the moment, frankly.
I disagree that white. Well, I think it depends in which format, right? Like, I think that because currently white in, say, Modern is really good. Because so the second most played creature in Modern is Skyclave Apparition. Because
the exile one.
Yeah, because like mono white Death and Taxes, not even like white X, mono white Death and Taxes is like a tier 1 deck for the first time in about 5 years. Between that and like the is it the Archon of something? It's like the Griffin that has the Thalia, the big Thalia text on it.
Yeah.
Like between those two and what's the Mother of Runes that's in Modern?
Giver of Runes.
Between those two and Giver of Runes, like that deck is legit now. I love it.
It turns out that like most modern decks and most commander decks, when a new set comes out, they get given maybe one new card. Like they'll be lucky if they get given any more than that. To suddenly give a relatively good deck 2 new, really good cards in one set is gonna make it good. And to be fair, we should probably like preface this whole thing. We were discussing earlier about like what do we want to talk about in this podcast. This is probably going to be the last podcast we make in 2020. So we were talking about 2 things. Number one, what did we like about 2020 in terms of Magic? Because our last podcast was a bit negative. And what are our wish lists for 2021? And frankly, like I don't want to put words in your mouth here. I feel like historic is like the big thing that 2020's done for you in Magic.
Yes. No, it definitely is. Like, I think if historic didn't exist, I think I would have almost completely stopped playing Magic in the latter half of this year. Like, I dabbled with one tick and stuff like that, like one tick Commander and stuff. That was all very fun, and that's great. But and I've dabbled in Gladiator, which is like the historic Canadian Highlander format. None of it's really been doing it for me, but historic has. I was so dubious at the beginning of the year. I think I talked about hoping that it would be good in the beginning of the year of these podcasts, but I just
got a vague memory of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's just blown me away. Like it's blown me away to the point where I actually have quite a big like modern collection on MTGO, and I've sold that because I don't want to play modern on MTGO. That's not how I like to play modern, and I'm getting that kind of modern-esque fix from historic. So yeah, historic's been like the big thing for me this year, I think.
That makes me really happy, actually.
Yeah.
Like just the idea that there's a constructed format that is actually good and that people enjoy playing, because like I feel like ever since I've started playing Magic, Standard, whenever I talk to someone about Standard, they're saying, oh, Standard's a trash fire. Modern's doing modern things and everything sucks. But to have a format where someone's like, this is pretty fun actually, that feels very nice.
I'm glad you think that. Like, I think the problem is with all kind of like format reports of saying modern's doing modern things and Standard sucks. It always depends on how on who you talk to and what they prefer out of Magic, right? Like one thing, the other thing that this year has taught me very much is that I do not like Standard. Even when Standard is good, I do not like Standard. I find it dull. I find it restricting. It is not my thing. That is not to say that I will have a go at anybody forever liking Standard. If people like Standard, that's absolutely great. More people playing more Magic is great. But yeah, like I like historic because historic feels like modern to me. It really, really does. Like it's jankier and sillier and stuff, but it's got like the same weird, diverse mix of decks in there. like playing against goblins, which is probably like the most infamous historic deck at the moment. It feels like playing against like pseudo creature combo value decks in Modern. It kind of feels like playing against like a value town band deck or something. That's what it feels like to me. Or like indeed the Modern goblins. And there's combo decks, and there's mid-range decks, and there's aggro decks. It feels like Modern to me, and I'm really glad that it developed into something good rather than being something shitty.
I think this is that thing. I really want this kind of more positive this year, because like there's been some real mistakes this year, but there have, I feel, been some real positives this year. Like there's been some real good stuff that's come out of this year, definitely, and I feel like it does need celebrating. Like you come towards the end of the year, and looking back and celebrating the good stuff that happened is always a better thing than looking back and going, so what sucked the most, frankly.
Okay, then. So Sam, then, what aspect of Magic are you very thankful for then in 2020? You think? So what positive things do you think came out of it?
What positive things? Let's see. It's been a long year, so right back at the start, I think I was enormously enjoying the. I can't remember what the cube was called, but there was a cube they came out with on MTGA. And it was just so fun.
Cubing in Arena has been really good this year. I'm with you there. It's really good to cube.
You can say many things about Wizards, actually, but one thing I pretty much universally hear is when Wizards designs a cube, it's good. Like the best thing on MTGO is the cube, and the best thing on MTGA is the cube. Like. Yeah. So you Sam, from just talking to you and stuff, like even from like the end of last year, you appear to have properly gotten into cubes because you have your Commander cube now as well.
Still got the Commander cube. I completely redesigned it now. Yeah. So.
Please tell me you took Prophet of Crucifix out.
I took Prophet of Crucifix out.
No. Added Crucifix in.
I took Prophet of Crucifix out. This was another thing that I really enjoyed this year, actually, because I don't know what it is about this year, but for some reason it's felt like the cards outside of the broken ones have been interesting and fun to put into new kind of fun to experiment with.
Yeah.
So they were are they demigods from what was that set called?
Yeah, from Theros Beyond Death.
From Theros Beyond Death, yeah, they're the demigods. So it was the green one, and they had power or toughness equal to your devotion. Those are really cool cards.
I love them so much. Yeah, Ajax is just a house, and I love him to bits.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like aside from the big infamous names that have happened this year, there have been a lot of really cool, like under the radar cards. Like in M20, was it M21 this year? The core set. There were all the mill cards. M21, all the mill cards. There was what's his name? Teferi's Tutelage, which is the enchantment. You mill 2 whenever you draw a card. Awesome.
Standard mill still a thing.
Yeah, they really have shored up a couple of different archetypes, really. Because like it's not just like standard mill that's a thing now. Like modern mill went from being like
tier 2,
tier 3, tier 4. You could see it inside of them. So being like, I could see this 5-0ing an MTGO league.
Tier 2, it was tier 2.
I would argue, as soon as something can 5-0 an MTGO league, you're not a million miles away from making day 2 of a GP with it. You probably won't top 8, but
walking into Magic Fest in 2022. Decks, fuck you, get in the
great. But yeah, no.
So... Which one you mill an Emrakul? Shit! Run away desperately if you literally have no way of beating them.
But yeah, no, I think Wizards deserves props for those cards, and I think that's what's made this year fun for me. Finding the kind of cool cards that I want to put into that are exciting, and I want to put into the Commander Cube. So yeah, I think that's been my highlights for this year. What about you, Hugh?
Now, I'm going to preface this by saying we're going to ignore the one reprint that was shit. Okay, we're ignoring it. It didn't happen because I've got two. First one is that reprints this year have actually been really good.
Oh yeah, they have been.
Genuinely, with the exception of the set that shall not be named, they've actually done a really good job with reprinting this year. I mean, just looking at the amount of sets that have just had these really brilliant reprints. I mean, M21 had so many good cards reprinted into it, and some cards that I never thought were going to see the light of day in a reprint, like ever. Same thing with a lot of Ugin, and definitely
Ugin. God, that price tanked.
Yeah, the Ugin reprint, the Black Tutor, the Black Tutor reprint, the Ristic Studies reprint. There's been some really excellent reprinting this year.
Can I point out how much Double Masters has tanked some prices? Like, I just picked up a Jason the Mind Sculptor for 40 quid. Yeah. Tron is a budget deck now. Legitimately, Tron is a budget deck.
Which is a weird thing to think about, isn't it? And yeah, it's so weird to think. But like, it's with the exception of the fetch lands, I think reprinting this year has been pretty much an absolute win. But there's been so many good cards that have been reprinted.
Yeah.
Can I just jump on the fetch land thing, actually? Because I have opinions. Okay, so I checked the prices of those box toppers the other day.
Right.
They've actually been fairly effective.
I'll be frank with you. I was more talking about the wonderful box that happened to also come with 5 fetch lands.
Okay, yeah. Let's not talk about that. You're right. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's the one.
Actual box topper reprints. I'm not sure about how effective they have been at reprinting, tanking the fetch land prices. I think they're about the same price as their non.
Have a look while you're talking.
You have a look. But what it has definitely tanked is some other key utility lands in Modern. So, like, there's a bunch of fast lands in there which are now much cheaper. Celestial Colonnade at one point was like a 20 quid card, and now it's about 3. Like, those box toppers were a weirdly effective reprint strategy. Like, I would prefer proper reprints in an actual set, obviously, but putting them as box toppers as a standard set, I'm gonna stand here and say that maybe that wasn't a terrible idea. Like,
the prices of the expeditions seem to be still rather high. I mean, Scalding Tarn is still 55, non-foiled version.
Scalding Tarn at some point was at 80 or 90 pounds.
Yeah,
like
Arid Mesa is below 30.
Yeah, exactly. Arid Mesa used to be about 50.
Blackcleave Cliffs is down below around £12.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is the thing, right? This is what I meant. Like the actual reprinting this year has actually been pretty top notch. They've reprinted a lot of cards that actually really did need the reprints, and it's gone well. It's frankly has gone quite well.
Yeah, they've been on this for a couple of years now, reprinting like Modern and Legacy cards into Standard, what they think is safe. And I think, I think apart from like the one huge obvious miss, which I would argue was Ugin. Like, I'm very happy to have an Ugin reprint. I'm not necessarily happy to have Ugin in Historic and Standard.
Price-wise, great reprint. The actual health of the formats he was reprinted into probably not the best. Yeah. But it's one of those ones where I feel I can forgive that for giving more people access to a card that was printed only in Fate Reforged.
completely. And also, like, you got to remember, back in 2019, they had like Scapeshift and Crucible of Worlds. Crucible of Worlds used to be a horrifically expensive card, and now it's much more affordable. They printed Containment Priest into Modern.
Azula Lost But Seeking got reprinted. It's it has genuinely been a good reprint, genuinely. I'm like, I think I'm looking forward to. Wow, I was about to say I'm looking forward to the core set. Oh dear, it's not a core set. It's not a core set next year, is it? Anyway, we'll get to.
Can we not? I'm trying to be hopeful.
We'll get to that in a minute. The second thing that I am thankful for, I will say. Revealed in 2019, but retail released in 2020. Genuinely, my favorite thing this year is mystery boosters.
Oh yeah.
Completely. Oh my god, the draft was amazing.
We all did a draft together with mystery boosters during the summer when the restrictions were a bit lifted. Genuinely, my favorite thing this year, mystery boosters. I think they were a smash hit, absolute smash hit. The reprints were amazing. The drafting was amazing. The cards within them were amazing. The experience was amazing. I loved every bit of mystery boosters. Frankly, it was my favorite thing this year. Out of every single set that's been revealed this year, I've had a problem with every set. Like, genuinely a problem with every set. And I cannot say that about mystery boosters, and I can't say that about Commander Legends either. Both of those sets, I have nothing bad to say about either of those sets. Genuinely nothing bad to say. And it's maybe come round to what I believe, genuinely what I might believe, which is I think the way that Wizards can make me happy is just by designing a set around draft. Because I'm thinking, okay, what were the two sets this year I really liked? Commander Legends and Mystery Boosters. You mean the two draft sets? Oh, god damn it.
Well, you know what's weird? Because Mystery Boosters isn't... I mean, is it a draft set? Like, it's just a bunch of random cards they stuck into a mystery booster, right?
Yeah, it's meant to be a chaos draft.
Yeah. It's engineered chaos drafting.
Yeah.
That's the idea. It's literally, it was engineered chaos drafting. Like, that's why it had
fair enough.
Two of each color in it in a very specific amount, like designed to be chaos draft.
Yeah, they were meant to be played at GPs. That's why they had the original test cards in half of them, because like chaos draft. Okay, so fun fact: I believe this is the actual reason why it was designed. Chaos drafting is one of the most popular things to do at GPs, to the point where some people just go to GPs to chaos draft. That's a shout out to James Ding there. But Wizards were actually running out of some really old booster packs that they used to throw in there to spice them up. So mystery booster, and people don't particularly like just doing like Pioneer mystery draft.
It's time for a chaos draft. Here's Fate Reforged, Kaladesh, and Zendikar.
You've really got a bugbear against Fate Reforged today, haven't you?
I'm not. One of my favorite memories from like late 2019. I went to Dragon Meet to promote a tabletop game, and when I was there was a bloke selling a load of Magic boosters, and he had one pack of Fate Reforged. And I went, how much? And he went, like, £2. And I went, it could contain an Ugin. At which point, this is the bloke who was selling me the pack. Turned around, looked me dead in the eyes and went, or it could contain any of the other shit. And I love the fact that even the bloke who was selling me it was willing to admit that this is not a good set. Fun fact, it didn't have an Ugin in it. But I genuinely think it's a great idea. Like, I want to see more mystery boosters. Like,
they'll do it again.
It ties it ties into my great reprints. Obviously, with it being mystery boosters, the whole concept of reprints of mystery boosters are a little bit wonky because there's like over 1,000 cards in it, so it's a bit harder to get the cards and reprints into the system because it's a bit more randomized. But at the same time, like, a lot of the prices have still gone down and people are still selling them and it's still good.
I actually think the mystery boosters would have been a lot more. I think they've been massively hampered by the fact that because it was meant to be, it was an unlimited run product from my understanding of it. And I think the effectiveness of the reprints have been massively hampered by the fact that there were no GPs running and LGSs have had to be closed all year because it's not the sort of thing you like. Some people just buy a box, crack them all open, and then sell them. And you can't really do that with a mystery box. It's a product that demands to be drafted. I mean, you can, but
you absolutely can, but you shouldn't.
And I think if you're like a financial person and stuff who's wanting to sell them for a profit, you wouldn't do that. So it's the sort of thing that where it needs to be drafted to be effective, and it just wasn't drafted.
Yeah.
So I have big hopes that, like, probably not next year, but probably the year after, that there will be Mystery Boosters 2. And if there's GPs and if there's LGSs, it will be much more effective.
I really like. We'll bounce this onto our second topic. Hopes for next year. I genuinely think one of the biggest hope I have for next year, like after what has been, unfortunately, a really poor year for Magic, just down to things out of everyone's control. I do genuinely hope that now that we've got a vaccine, now it's being administered and everything, I really do hope that at some point next year we do get to go back and do actual Magic with people. I really want to go to GPs again. Like, I really do. I want to be safe. I want to save lives, but I want to go to GPs. I miss them. I actively miss them. I have modern decks that I've been building and that I've been editing and have never seen the light of day. I have yet to play my Jund deck, which I've owned now for over a year in completion. I've yet to play it at a GP because I've just not had the ability to. And I just want that back. And that's, I say genuinely, that's my one real big wish. Like on my 2021 wish, number one at the top, the return of GPs and actual in-person Magic.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think realistically, it'd be ridiculous for any of us to say that our biggest wish isn't for the return of paper.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a given at this point.
It's almost like the honourable number ones about and we'll talk about the rest of
it. The easy number one,
tier 0.
S tier.
Like the 0-4 of thermodynamics, you don't even speak about it. It's just so obvious.
Yeah.
That's a physics joke. For me and Grace, the physics masters and almost PhD.
Very almost.
Yeah, very almost. We'll check back in the new year for Dr. Grace.
Check back in 6 months.
Check back in 6. Yeah, next year.
Not the beginning of next year. Anyway, not the point.
Yeah, not the point, right. The not zeroth spot, by the way, the not zeroth spot for my big wish list, or my actual big wish for 2021 is a wish
go for it. Hit us with
that. Despite how much I've laid into it, I want the 2021 D&D set to be good.
Yeah, no,
specifically, like, out of all the sets next year that I have, the biggest, like, I really want you to be good. I want the D&D set to be good, specifically because it's replacing a core. And I genuinely think that core sets have been smash hits every single year since they brought them back. And I want my biggest wish is for the D&D set not to tank what is my real liking of core sets. I want them to do some good reprints. I want them to really have fun with like some new and interesting mechanics. But at the same time, I don't want this set to ruin one of the 4 major sets we get in the end. Like, genuinely, I really want the D&D set to be good.
I completely get that. I have such conflicting feelings about the D&D set because from a completely abstracted point of view, I think the concept has such legs, right? It seems like the natural merging, but I also don't want I don't want to be negative, but similar to The Walking Dead Secret Lair, I don't want this to be the beginning of the invasion of other IPs. But that being said, I'm with you. I want it to be good. Yeah, completely. I understand that. And the rest of the sets in 2021 sound like, at least the ones that have been announced so far, for standard, sound like such obvious smash hits. I mean, like, Keldheim, we've only had a couple of spoilers, and I already want to, like, put on my Viking hat and go sailing to raid. Like, that set looks like it's going to be rad.
I will say I cringed slightly into the floor reading the Keldheim like reveal, where it's like, rock and roll, heavy metal, best set, and then they censored a bunch of swear words, and it's like, yes, how wonderfully heavy metal censoring the word fuck.
I like my family-friendly heavy metal.
I know this is trying to make this family-friendly because it is played by kids. At the same time, I don't think you can reveal a set and be like, yeah, beep, yeah, and then continuously beep it. Like, it cringed me slightly into the floor. And then they went and revealed Pyre of Heroes, and I'm like, okay, fair enough, you've got me back.
I mean... Yeah, and like I can't remember what it's called, but the Wizard School one, I'm very hopeful will be good. Like, it seems like a very natural Magic setting. I'm sure
MTG Hogwarts.
MTG Hogwarts, yeah. MTG Hogwarts now with less transphobia.
Frankly, thank God. Strixhaven.
We live in hope.
Strixhaven, yes. And I mean, like, even like, do you know what? Can I just jump into what I'm excited for?
Go on. To be fair, that was what I was excited for. Go on.
Yeah. So my number one is, while the standard stats do sound really, really cool, I know
what you're going to say. Go on.
You do know what I'm going to say, because I'm actually most excited for Modern Horizons 2.
Yes, I knew you were.
Yeah.
I crossed my number 2 off.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Modern Horizons 2. Modern Horizons 2 ruining modern electric boogaloo.
So I am firmly on the team of Modern Horizons 1 was a pretty wild experiment. I loved it so much. But like, I think obviously there was some what we would call problematic cards.
What I would call Hogak.
There was some problematic cards. There was some homogenizing cards. Like I still slightly resent Astrolabe and Snowlands. But I think apart from that, I think there was slam dunk after slam dunk in things. I think it revitalized different. I think it revitalized Modern a bunch, and I think so many interesting cards have come from Modern Horizons. And I severely hope that Wizards have kind of learnt some lessons from it. And going into Modern Horizons 2, I cannot wait. Hashtag print Counterspell into Modern, you cowards.
Damn it, I was going to make the same joke. Damn it. I was going to be like, and as someone who doesn't like Control, even I believe reprint Counterspell into Modern, you cowards.
Yeah.
It would be fine. I honestly think it would be fine. I honestly think it would be fine. If it turns out not to be fine, then we'll put them all on a pyre, burn them, and admit it was a mistake. But frankly, just do it. Like Shia LaBeouf meme, just do it. Like I'm weirdly okay. Like I get like there are certain cards you know are going to be broken them into a format, and it's one of those get the money, get out sort of systems.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm kind of okay with Wizards just going, let's just try Counterspell in Modern and see what happens. Like, I'm okay with them just being like, okay, now we got Giver of Runes, yeah? Why don't we just print Mother of Runes into it? And just like...
No, that's a terrible one.
Just give it a go. Just walks in and just like, it's a Charbelcher. I get this, like, because I think the big
Charbelcher's already in Modern.
I mean, but Charbelcher. No, I'm kidding. I think
we don't need a second Charbelcher. That's like a legit deck in Modern at the moment. Like, oops, all spells is a thing.
The thing, right? I think the thing is that Modern and Legacy are two different formats, and if you just want every single Legacy into Modern just dies.
Yeah.
Because it just becomes Legacy. And
so don't print Wasteland into Modern.
So don't print Wasteland into Modern. Don't print Ancient Tomb. Don't print your Lion's Eye Diamonds and stuff like that. Like Legacy is its own format, Modern is its own format. Giving variations of it is fine. So having something like a Pact of Negation instead of a Force of Will is great. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good little card to kind of have a go into.
Force of Negation is great. Force of Negation is genuinely one of my favorite cards, and I cannot wait for it to be printed into. I cannot wait for the second Modern Masters. No, sorry, Modern Horizons. That's just one.
And Joe, frankly, I think should be the number one thing they should do with Modern Horizons.
Modern Horizons
2. Well, apart from print, that's a number 2. Number 1. If you're that scared to reprint fetch lands in a meaningful sense,
print them in there.
Either print them there, or print a fixed version of them.
I don't even think they need to be fixed. Frankly, I just print them in Modern Horizons.
Yeah,
it will sell every. I mean, like Modern Horizons struggle to sell at all, but just if you want there to be no Modern Horizons in the universe left, just print fetch lands into them.
Sam, 2021, go for it.
So Time Spiral.
Time Spiral remastered. Yeah, Time Spiral remastered. Yeah.
Crosses off number 2.
Yeah, Time Spiral remastered. Yeah, that's coming out, isn't it?
Looks at cards. This is the only one. But I just cannot wait. Like, all these old cards, I don't care if they don't have value. I want to play with old cards. I want to see other people using old cards. Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Yes. This and all of yes. Yes, that. Man,
I just can't wait.
Wait, hang on a minute. Hugh, it's a draft set. Oh, God. No. I'm excited again. I shouldn't do this.
Hold me down.
I want old bordered Path to Exiles.
You and only you.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, I don't even know what's in the set. Like, I just want the old cards. I think old bordered cards look amazing. I want to draft it.
An angry ape that you can fling from your hat and make Charbelcher.
Yes.
That's what's in the set. Oh man, I'm one mana off my Charbelcher. And go.
What is it with you and Charbelcher today?
I think I was like, right, I can't just think about Fate Reforged all the time, so I stopped thinking about Fate Reforged, at which point Legacy just went, you want to turn 0 someone? I'm like, well, yes, obviously. When you can't, we had to be turn 1 instead. I'm like, you got me. I watched someone turn 0 someone before, and it was fucking hilarious. Go on.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, if they would do another conspiracy set, or like conspiracy-like, I would be so down for that. And then I was like, wait, we've got Fate Reforged, and that's kind of the same thing.
You're right, Fate Reforged.
Yeah, Fate Reforged. No, not Fate. God damn it, Hugh!
Yes, Fate Reforged. Oh, Sam has literally rage quit from the chat. Fate Reforged. This is it. This is the Fate Reforged cast where we talk all about Fate Reforged. Name a card in Fate Reforged that wasn't Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I goddamn dare you. And if you say any of the basic lands, you're wrong.
Charbelcher.
Yeah, Charbelcher reprinted in Fate Reforged. I actively cannot think of any cards that were in Fate Reforged. Genuinely, actively cannot think of any of them.
No, I've no idea.
Yeah, it's because it's Time Spiral and it sucks ass. Anyway, Time Spiral.
Time Spiral. I can't wait. It's going to be good.
It's a hypothetical question, Grace, but thank you. our level 1 judge, everybody, who actually has to know how Fate Reforged works. Feel sorry for her.
Oh, God. Wait, is that...
when you see it in the draft, you cry, and if you don't cry, you get a warning.
That wasn't. Sorry, no. Wing Wait What wasn't in Fate.
Yes, Fate Reforged. It sucks. The answer, of course, was some of the fetch lands.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, they were in Khans. No, it's just garbage. As I've been saying, I don't know why we're still going on about Fate Reforged. Actively, we're like, hey, 2021, this interesting set that we could literally be talking about, and Hugh's just going like, so Fate Reforged sucks. The answer, of course, is Monastery Mentor. Do continue, Sam.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a good card.
That was a good card.
Thank you for listening to the world's #1 Fate Reforged expert. I know 3 cards. You asked Mark Rover, so what do you think of Fate Reforged? And he politely but firmly asked you to leave.
Absolutely no comments on that one, boys.
Time Spiral Remastered.
Time Spiral Remastered, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I want all the old bordered cards. because I love them. It's going to be sweet.
That Chalice of the Void looks so nice. I actually love this. There's an old set of Judge promos where they did some of the original swords, so stuff like Swords of Fire and Ice and stuff like that in the old border, and the old border Chalice of the Void is channeling that same sexy energy, and I just love it.
There's some good ones. Like, I think we've only got like 6 sets that we actually know are coming out. Well, 7 if you split the 2 Innistrad ones into 2. But
Innistrad, shit.
Yeah, we're going back to Innistrad with vampires and werewolves, which is going to be weird. So we'll.
That's awesome.
Frankly, I'm going to hold off on that one until I know more about it, because I actively don't know how you do that unless you just release 2 random sets together. But then why would you be doing that? So there must be some plan.
I think there's going to be a bunch of. I think it's basically going to be like. I think it's going to be like Pokemon X and Y, where
that's what I was going to say.
They're basically the same game, but with a different set of different sets. Like maybe there'll be some rares that are in one and aren't in the other.
I mean,
or maybe give them a half the size. I don't know.
Yeah, because to run it down, we've got Kaldheim in Q1, then Time Spiral Remastered in between, then we've got Strixhaven, then we've got the D&D set. Then we've got Mon Horizons 2, and then finally we've got the 2 Innistrad sets. So there'll be some interesting stuff interspaced there. I mean, we're probably going to get, another Master set in there at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Eternal Masters 2, potentially. Now that Double Masters has proven the Master sets can work again, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that.
I thought Modern Horizons replaced the Master set.
But I don't know, honestly. But then we'll have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, you are probably right. Yeah, you are probably correct. But I mean, it's going to be an interesting year, if nothing else. And I mean, I know the phrase "it's going to be interesting" or "this could be interesting" is basically like, short talk for I know nothing about it. But genuinely, I know nothing about this year. I actively don't know what's going to happen. Like, this could end up being a great year for Magic the Gathering. This could end up tanking the company finally. Who knows? Frankly, I have high hopes only because I've had so little Magic this year that I'm just kind of chomping at the bit for it.
Interestingly, I think despite the fact that it feels like no Magic has been played, I feel like this is going to end up being one of the most influential years in Magic's history. Just because I feel like Arena has exploded this year. Like, I think it truly has. I think Wizards has had a very good year with Arena, and I wonder how much that's going to translate into new players next year. I genuinely think, and I'm really curious to see if there's going to be an explosion of players wanting to play Paper Magic, as in they've been introduced to Magic via Arena over the pandemic, and then they want to come and play.
I hope they do. I just hope 2021 is going to be the year where Magic comes back and it comes back with an actual bang. Like, yeah. I genuinely hope that Magic, the lack of Paper Magic has not killed people's interests in Magic this year. Because I know that I have not played anywhere near enough Magic this year for what I've usually play. My decks are collecting dust, some of them, because I just don't have people to play them with. But at the same time, I just kind of hope that, because my appetite for Magic is still very high. I live, breathe the stuff, and I will still desperately want to play it, even if I've not been playing it a lot this year. And I hope that a lot of players have the same attitude that I do, where it's like, even if I've not been playing it much this year, I want to get back to it in like a big way. I want to play that. I want to go to those GPs. I want to command with people. I want to do drafts. I want to just get back to it in a way that, that we've not seen for a while.
Yeah.
I think at the beginning of the pandemic, there was a lot of talk about, is this going to be the death of Paper Magic? Are people just going to get rid of their paper collections and start playing online? And I think the answer has been a resounding no. I have lots and lots of friends who play Magic. Like, I like to think of myself as quite integrated with the community and stuff like that. And from what I can tell, almost nobody's quit.
Everyone just wants to go back.
Yeah, we're just like, when GT back, when LGS is reopening, when can I play FNM again?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
And I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy that so many people are still, So yeah. I think 2021 is going to be good.
And on that note, I feel like we should end up, because that's a really hopeful, happy note that I think actually we can all get behind. And it's nearly Christmas. We're all in our respective places, all looking forward to having a nice Christmas with people, and I think that hopeful ending sentence probably is the Christmas spirit that I think we all need right now. Now, this podcast may not go out until after Christmas, frankly. I've got things to do. I have family to see. But regardless of what happens, viewers, listeners, whatever you are, the three of you that still pay attention to this, have a great Christmas, or I hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope 2021 is the year you want it to be.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays all.